2 weeks ago I got this comment on my Romanian channel. Don't worry, I'll translate it for you. Basically, the point was that some of this season's Champions League fixtures feel, let's say, a little too perfectly arranged. Like Barcelona versus PSG, which could have been last year's final, or Real Madrid versus Liverpool with Trent facing his old team. Now, look, I don't really buy into conspiracies either, and I don't think we should start hunting for hidden truths where there's nothing to find. At the end of the day, we're talking about 36 teams in one big group, each of them playing 8 matches. Just from that alone, if a player moved from another UCL team this summer, the chance of meeting his old club is about 23%. Roughly 1 in 4, which is actually quite high. Of course, not every team signed players from other Champions League clubs, so that percentage goes down, right? Well, because I sometimes get carried away with numbers, I actually counted them. I threw the data into our good friend ChatGPT and the real percentage came out at 11%. And if you're curious about the raw numbers, no less than 21 players transferred this summer will end up facing a former club. And in total, unless I missed a couple of names here and there, we've got 66 players who'll be playing against clubs they used to represent at some point in their careers. Let's run through them as quickly as possible. PSG don't have any brand new signing facing former clubs, but they do have 3 players in the squad who fit the bill. First, Nuno Mendes will face Sporting, where he made 40 appearances. Then Lucas Hernandez will meet Bayern, where he played between 2019 and 2023. And finally, for not the first time, Ousmane Dembélé goes back to Barcelona, where he lived for 6 years but barely played 2 full seasons worth of football. Over at Real Madrid, we've got 2 fresh arrivals who'll face old teams. Álvaro Carreras, bought for 50 million from Benfica, will head back to Lisbon this January wearing different colors now. And then Trent, who Liverpool sold for just 10 million. On November 4th, if he's fit, Trent could face Liverpool as a rival at Anfield Road of all places. Among the older faces, 2 Frenchmen will reunite with Monaco. Tchouaméni, who left them in 2022 after 2 years there, and Mbappé, who played for them from 2015 to 2018 before PSG snapped him up. Another Madrid player facing a former club is Brahim Diaz, who in Los Blancos meet Manchester City, where he spent 3 seasons but only managed 5 appearances. Since we've landed on City, no new signings on our list, but 4 of their older players fit the criteria. Mateo Kovacic, who spent about 4 seasons at Real Madrid, Erling Haaland, who will once again face Borussia Dortmund, Bernardo Silva, who will reunite with Monaco, where he played 3 years, and Rodri, still the current Ballon d'Or winner, will face Villarreal, a team where he played 63 matches until 2018. Now Bayern. The new arrival here is Nicolas Jackson, on loan from Chelsea. He already faced his parent club in a 3-1 win in Munich on September 17. Among the older names, Harry Kane, who, even though he never made Arsenal's senior team, he did come through their youth setup. Serge Gnabry, who played for Arsenal between 2011 and 2016, both youth and senior sides. And Michael Olise, another one who passed through Arsenal's academy, but also spent even longer at Chelsea's youth team, making him the first on our list to meet not 1 but 2 former clubs in the group stage. Liverpool next, the new signing is Tiki-Taka, 95 million from Eintracht Frankfurt. He'll face them away on October 22nd. The only other name here is Cody Gakpo, who will play against his former club PSV Eindhoven. Inter only have one, Henrik Mkhitaryan. He'll face Arsenal, where he spent 2 years, but also Dortmund, where he played 3 years, so he ticks 2 boxes. Chelsea, with their habit of signing entire squads every summer, you'd expect a long list, but actually only 2 players. Jorel Hato, bought from Ajax this summer for 44 million, will host his old side at Stamford Bridge on October 22nd. And then Marco Correa, ex-Barcelona, forever Haaland's nightmare in a parallel universe. Borussia Dortmund bring us 3 names. Jan Couto, signed from Manchester City for 20 million, goes back to Etihad on November 5th. Felix Nmecha, who also passed through City but only at youth level, and Emre Can, who will face Juventus, where he spent 2 years. Barcelona also have 2 players. Rooney Bargi, signed from Copenhagen for only 2.5 million. In January, at Camp Nou, hopefully, he'll meet his old teammates. Andreas Christensen, ex-Chelsea, who could face his former side if he makes the lineup. Leverkusen are the first to give us 5 names. Malik Tillman, 35 million from PSV Eindhoven. October 1st is his reunion date. Farid Alfa Ruprecht, a right winger who played for City under 21, cost Leverkusen just 1 million. He returns to the Etihad on November 25th. Claudio Echeverri, another City link but only on loan. Alex Grimaldo, who will face Benfica, where he played over 300 games. And Aleix Garcia, with an even busier past, he'll face Villarreal, where he once played for their B team, and also Manchester City, where he made 5 senior appearances. Benfica give us one player, Rafa Obrador. Bought from Real Madrid's youth for 5 million, he'll face Madrid in Lisbon, a mirror storyline to Alvaro Carreras. Atalanta have 4, Kolasinac ex-Marseille, Mario Pasalic ex-Chelsea but with no senior games, Davide Zappacosta ex-Chelsea, he actually managed to score for them, and Charles de Ketelaere ex-Club Brugge. Villarreal brings 3 players, Maynard Solomon on loan from Tottenham, Renato Veiga ex-Juventus, and of course Juan Foyth with 4 years spent at Spurs. Juventus, Francisco Conceição, who as a youth played for Sporting, Eintracht Frankfurt with Michy Batshuayi, who'll face Galatasaray, Tottenham with one new name, Randal Kolo Muani on loan from PSG, goes back to Paris on November 26th, and Xavi Simons, also ex-PSG, returning as well in November. PSV, Paul Warner ex-Bayern, Matej Kovar on loan from Leverkusen, and of course with a lot of experience in his career, Ivan Perisic, ex-Bayern among others. Ajax only have Davy Klaassen, who spent a season at Inter. Napoli, Noah Lang ex-PSV, Kevin De Bruyne free from City, already faced them, and Rasmus Højlund ex-Copenhagen. Sporting, Luis Suarez, but not that Luis Suarez, it's just this one facing Marseille. Since we were talking about them, Marseille only have Geronimo Rulli, who'll face Ajax. Copenhagen, Youssoufa Moukoko ex-Dortmund, and also 3 years spent at Dortmund for Thomas Delaney. Monaco with Eric Dyer, ex-Tottenham player for 10 years, Denis Zakaria ex-Juventus, just 1 season there, and of course Paul Pogba, 6 years at Juventus, though barely played recently. Galatasaray break the record with 6 players. New guys, Wilfried Singo ex-Monaco, Ismail Jacobs ex-Monaco 2, they stole their both fullbacks, and İlkay Gündoğan free from City. Old guys, Lucas Torreira ex-Atletico, Leroy Sané ex-City, he faced them before when he played for Bayern, and Davinson Sanchez ex-Ajax. We're almost done, only 2 players left. From Newcastle, Malik Thiaw ex-Leverkusen on youth level, and from Paphos, David Luiz ex-Chelsea, 2 spells for 3 years each. That leaves us with exactly 10 clubs out of 36 with 0 players facing old teams this season. Not surprising for Athletic Bilbao given their strict transfer policy, the rest are mostly from smaller leagues where the traffic of players goes the other way. Kairat Almaty, Club Brugge, Union Saint-Gilloise, Olympiacos, Slavia Prague, Bodo Glimt and Karabakh. And the last 2, the most surprising ones, Arsenal and Atletico Madrid, considering they are big clubs and do plenty of transfers. That's the full list, hopefully without missing anyone. If I skipped someone, drop it in the comments. Otherwise, that's the video, hope you enjoyed it. And since the channel is still just starting out, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can help it grow. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next one.